ministry moment. Please, brother, would you come up here and enlighten us, inspire us, and inform us? I'm looking forward.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Don.
He has entirely too much fun with this, don't you think? I think it's beginning to be a problem. I'm not sure.
I can count on God to be an encouragement.
The seminar he was talking about, learning to care, that is such an exciting and important thing. And let me share a couple of numbers with you to show you why I think that. I have an older list of the membership of this church. I don't have Tony's completely newly updated one yet, so I'm going by the one I have. And it shows on there that there's 67 members. It shows that there are active participants here with about 25. Now we add Jack and Jan, we're at 69 and 27. That means there's 42 who aren't actively coming all the time. So it's good that we have that seminar coming, don't you think? To work on that number. Now, one of the things that Don McClafferty asked when I got in touch with him, let's start from the beginning. When I first talked to him after reading a couple of his books and hearing him on the radio, I decided that would be a good guy to come and facilitate and help with the Holy Spirit studying and the seminars and the things that are coming. I was excited about some of his stories. I don't want to spoil the book for you, so I just want to give you a couple things maybe to whet your appetite. In chapter 7, I think it is, of his book, God Still Lives, there's a story about him going to a Muslim worship center in the middle of the night, between 1 and 3 a.m., to try to meet the guy who calls the people to prayer. He's the only white guy there. He's only American in the country, basically, at that moment. And he goes in the middle of the night because God told him to. Another time, God told him to start doing unpaid ministry. At that moment, he was on staff at an Adventist church, full benefits, full salary. His wife was working. And he said, God, if this is you and you want me to do this, you're going to have to tell my wife. I can't tell her. You'll hear the rest of the story later. Look it up, read the book, get into it. I decided I wanted to contact him and see if he would actually consider coming to Dayton to talk to us and share those stories with us and help us on this journey to get closer to each other and closer to the Holy Spirit. And he let me know that he was booked for over a year. So that didn't fit my schedule, Corbin. That didn't work. So we decided to pray about it. Within a week and a half, he called me and he said, you know, I'm booked for over a year. I can't come, but I just had a cancellation, December 7. December 7, that's a week and a half away at that moment when he was calling me. So my first call is to the pastor and ask if we can do that. Take him off the roster for that day and let him rest and not study all week. And he agreed to let him come. So I appreciate that. Appreciate the Minutemen in this group that will make things happen and let things happen when the Holy Spirit moves and arranges things. So Don is going to come and he's going to share. I want to share a comment that he made to me. Let me get my eyes on where I can read it to you and get it right. He said, the Holy Spirit is working in special ways right now, and that he is seeing the Holy Spirit do things with a heavenly urgency that is different from anything he has ever seen in his life. And he wants to tell us about that. He has a request in order for us to get ready for this presentation, this event, this service, whatever we want to call it, next Sabbath. He wants us to take our membership list and pray over it. And pray specifically each name, and pray specifically that the Holy Spirit will invite them to be here on December 7th. Now, I see the problem in some of your faces already. I just told you about some of the numbers. We haven't seen some of these people. I haven't even met some of these people. Some of them have asked for transfers of membership. That my numbers are old. That's not accurate. There are people that you haven't seen in a long time, may not even know that you're going to pray for. So I went through the list. On the list that I have, my name is number 40 on the list. So I start through that list and I start praying for the people. Let's say you start through that list and you start praying for the people one by one, and then you come to number 40. And you're supposed to pray that the Holy Spirit will ask Don Johnson to come on December 7th and be there for that meeting so that he can be blessed and called and touched by the Holy Spirit. And you have a problem with that because you know this guy. You feel uncomfortable with that prayer. You have difficulty with that. Say it's Jeannie going through the list and she thinks, 15 years ago, this guy came into my life and caused me all kinds of grief and sorrow, and I hadn't forgiven him yet. So who is that prayer for? When you go through that list and you come to a name that you have an issue with, you have a sense of uncomfort, you have a problem praying that they be here on December 7th, that means that's the Holy Spirit working on you. That prayer request is more about you than that person. That prayer request is more about you saying, God, I surrender, I give up, I need your Holy Spirit. I'm not comfortable praying that this person come back to our church on December 7th. So that request is more about you. If you don't have a list with the names on it, I was going to put something together by prayer meeting at least, but hopefully most of you have a list, or I can text you a list of just first names or something so you have an actual list of first names to pray over. And please let the Holy Spirit move you to pray for each one of those people that they will be encouraged to come here on December 7th so that the Holy Spirit can have an impact on their life and make a difference in their life. There are 57 people in our guest book, 57 entries since we put the book out there. How many of them have we retained? How many of them would come back if we prayed about them and asked for them to be invited to come on December 7th? What if we sent a notice or made a call, sent a text, did something too for the ones that we have contact information on? Then what about the list of people that we have never had here? Let me give you an example. I have a son that I would love for him to come here and bring his wife and my granddaughter because he doesn't go actively, frequently anywhere. I would love to have him come. You have people like that. Some of you may have spouses who aren't going anywhere. Some of you may have children besides me that you feel like I do. I wish they would come. So how big is that list? You've got 69 on our church attendance register at the moment, according to my old list. And you've got 57 in your guest book. And you've got how many that you could think of that you could pray for that God would invite here? David at the prison has asked to be invited. He wanted to know when Don comes. So Don McClafferty will be here on the 7th. So I'll let David know. I think he goes to the Ogden Road. No, the other one on the mountain. Brayton. I think he goes to Brayton Church. But think of people that you could pray for, that you could invite, that you could bring to an event that will make a difference in their lives if we let it. It's our choice. So it's pretty much what I was going to say at spur of the moment since I found out Jim wasn't going to be here. But this is an important event that I ask you to pray for. We'll talk more about it at the prayer meeting and talk about ways to let go and pray prayers that matter and to let the Holy Spirit take control. If I didn't cover everything I needed to, let's see, potluck, right? The potluck is a simple thing that the social committee is putting together. Don happens to have special dietary things, so we're going to make it really simple, make it easy for him. So thank you for your time.
You know what Don had to say is not just words, it's not a talking point. Jesus said, I'm leaving and I'm sending you the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is taking Jesus' place here now as his representative. We need God's Holy Spirit. May God bless you as you seek the Lord.